All right, boys and girls, here's the deal. I can't sing for shit, like not at all. You see that right there? That's a $2,000 microphone, and not even that can make me sound good. It's just not possible. Unfortunately, that was the hand that I was dealt. But nevertheless, I use my vocals in like 60% of my tracks, and I'm able to do that because of the lack of skill that I have in my vocal cords. I make up for in Ableton bullshitting. So today I'm going to kind of show you that process a little bit because I had some people ask me after I sent a vocal in the Discord, yo, can you do a video on this? And I'm like, honestly, I'm not really comfortable with that. But then I figure, what the fuck? Why not? I'm being a pussy. So here I am, and I'm going to make you a video showing you what I do. I can't really explain to you how exactly I do it through and through, but I can show you what I do, and then hopefully you can gather from there how you could do it yourself or not. It's up to you. So without further ado, the only thing that I'm going to be using here is my microphone on my iPhone. That's literally it. That microphone back there I would maybe use, but not everybody has one of those. Not everybody needs one of those because the vocal that I did last time that sounded really good was done on my iPhone while driving down the fucking street. So if I can make that sound halfway decent, I think we can make anything sound halfway decent. So I'm going to go ahead and open up voice memos. And I wrote this little chord progression out, and I'm just going to be singing to that, right? So I figured the first thing that you need to do is you need to come up with a liner. You need to think of something that you want to sing about, right? If you want to make a whole ass top line, Godspeed. I don't. I just want to sing like one line so that I have one line of vocal in my track or whatever. So I'm thinking, I'm like, what should I write about? Well, the cat shit on the carpet the other day, and I didn't tell my girlfriend. I just cleaned it up. So I'm probably going to write about that, and I did. I said, there's something that I'm thinking you should know. That's my liner, and I'm going to sing that, okay? So you got to come up with a melody, come up with something that you want to sing. I can't really help you with that. You kind of go see my melody video. It's the same process, roughly. But come up with something relatively creative, the best that you can. And we'll take it from there. So here's some chords that I laid out that I'm going to sing to on my iPhone microphone, and then we're going to bring that into Ableton and go from there. God, I hope this goes okay. So I'm recording on my iPhone mic now. Now I'm going to record like several takes. Here we go. There. Nope, missed it. There's some. Missed it again, fuck. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Not bad, could be worse. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. One more. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. All right, that's it. Okay, so I got my iPhone recording right here. I'm going to just edit this and call it You Should Know. And then I'm going to take that, save it to Dropbox, and then it'll show up. Okay, so let's get that bad boy in here. Okay, You Should Know right here. Perfect. Pull that in. Ah, I can't. Here's why. It is a M4A, and I need to convert that. So I'm going to go to Google Chrome. M4A to MP3 converter. All right. Cloud convert. You won't have this problem if you don't work on PC. If you work on Mac, it really should be okay. Okay, that fine. Select file. No. All right, let's try this. My coffee got cold. It's gross as fuck. So we're waiting. In the meantime, I don't trust it. I'm going to try another one. This one's still waiting. Aha, this one wins. Fuck you. All right, there we go. So now we got an MP3. We can use that. It doesn't need to be a WAV or any of that shit. We just need something that's audio that we can use. So there we go. Boom, we got it. All right, here we go. Let's take a listen and see what we have. I'm recording. Now I'm gonna record like several takes. There we go. See, it really doesn't sound that bad at all. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Not bad. Could be worse. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. All right, so let's get these takes and just compile them. So I'm going to take another audio track and just go like that. This way I can kind of comp. You know what comping is? It's kind of like a really butchered way of doing comping. All right, so we got 4 takes right here. Let's just trim them up. All right, now let's figure out which one is best off the rip. We might not be able to tell unless we get a bit of processing on there. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Not terrible. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Not terrible. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Same. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. So none of them are really terrible. So we're going to go ahead and group these, and then it comes down to processing. So the first thing that I want to put on this shit is a compressor right off the rip. And I'm doing this on a group right here, so it affects all of them. However, I will likely take the processing off the group and put it on each individual channel at some point, because I will want to use multiple takes for various reasons. We'll go over that in a minute. First thing I want to do, like I said, compressor. I'm going to use the famous LA2A. And I'm going to go ahead and load my preset. We're going to do major compression. And there's something that I'm thinking you should know. Okay, sounds good. Looks good. Go ahead and get an EQ8. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. And I'm going to use this to cut out all the low end junk down there. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Okay, that doesn't sound too bad. I'm going to do another... fuck, I meant to put this in the group. I'm going to do another compressor at this point as well. And with this one, I'm going to turn off makeup. I want it to attack pretty quickly and slow release, like 400 milliseconds. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking. Turn the knee to 0. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Yeah, that looks a little bit better, but I want to go a bit harder. Let's do like 4. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Okay, that's not terrible, but what I need to do is I need to see exactly what I'm looking at here with this waveform. So I'm going to go ahead and do a resample and just go ahead and see what this looks like. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Okay, so that looks way better, way less dynamic, of course, but we turn it up. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Okay, so we can maybe use a wee tad bit more compression. So for this, let's go ahead and I'll do a glue compressor, I guess, but I'm going to use a preset because I don't really know what I'm doing. Let's try add sustain. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Okay, so right off the rip, that's already sounding not too bad. Way better. If I resample again, the waveform should look really good. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. For this, yeah, that looks pretty solid. I mean, there's that little peak right there. To be honest, what we could do is we could contain that with a limiter. We could put on limiter just like this. There's something that I'm thinking. Lower the ceiling. There's something that I'm thinking. There's something that I'm thinking. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Just so that one little peak pops through. That's all I want. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Okay, so there we go. There's our compression. Honestly, not too bad. I'm happy with that. Okay, so the next step. What do we need? Fucking auto-tune, because it sounds terrible. Absolutely god-awful. It's not like I cannot sing in key, I cannot carry a tune. So we need auto-tune, and we probably need a shit ton. I would consider myself a low male. I might go up to alto tenor, but if you're, if you're a female, you probably want to choose soprano. If you have a low voice, alto tenor. If you're a male and you sing low, maybe low male, maybe alto tenor, experiment, but you probably don't need instruments. So just play around with what you think you are. The higher pitch your voice sounds, you're going to want to go closer to the top of this list, and the lower you're going to want to go to the bottom. Okay. There's something that I'm thinking. Oh, by the way, you want to set your key, of course. So I am in E flat minor, D sharp minor, whatever. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Okay, so there's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something. Let me turn this off real quick. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. And I think I sang it like a semitone too low. I'm gonna warp it. Oops. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. So I kind of sang it like an awkward in between, so I just had to manually tune that a little bit. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. 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 Okay, so when I have that tuned and I play the auto tune, it honestly doesn't sound too bad. Let me see if I can make it like, I don't know. So I'm going to set it to 20 retune speed, and then I'm going to try a second auto tune, and we'll see if that sounds okay. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. A little bit robotic, so on the second one, I'm going to pull this down. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that there's okay, so that sounds better. I'm going to keep that the way that it is for right now. However, I'm just noticing that the first note is like very wrong. I struggle a lot with singing the first note. I think that's kind of a common problem. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't know that much about like vocal shit. I'm out here winging it, to be quite frank, if you haven't gotten that hint already. So I'm going to go in, find that first note. So it's really this right here that I'm looking at. And I want to go to clip transposition, and I basically just want to automate that. Set the first point at the second syllable, which sounds good. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking. And set this. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. That sounds quite a bit better. All right, cool. I am happy with that. There's something that I'm thinking. So this is 41 cents up. Let's go ahead and retune these guys as well. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. I like the no of this one better. I'm thinking you should know. Go ahead and set it to Complex Pro. No, thinking you should know. So I'm going to pull this back here, and then I'll just do, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Go away. And then I'm just going to gently right here and at the low point, I'm going to do a fade, crossfade. Right here, just like that. You should know. You should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking. All right, let's check some of these others. There's something that I'm thinking doesn't sound very good. Go down to this one, Warp, Complex Pro, jack it up. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. So to be honest, I think this is probably my best cut. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save these, but I'm gonna put these in a garbage bin. Go like this. Boom. Just drag this up here, turn it off. We don't need these right now. We are going to use them though, so don't get rid of them. We're just putting them off to the side for right now. Now, this guy, I'm going to move my processing onto this track so I can really just hone in on what's going on here. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Momo, it's time to go. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Eddie's working. That's right. Okay. All right, now for the next step. I'm going to use a de-esser because I can tell that the S's are kind of sharp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the waves one. I don't know if you'll have it or not. You can use alternative de-essers, but this one really has been like the best for me. De-esser mono. We're in mono right now, so. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Okay, so that doesn't sound too bad. I didn't mean to fucking do that. What the fuck? Go away. All right, so de-esser, check. Auto-tune, check. Compression, check. So now it comes down to just general EQing. This is fucking tough. Honestly, this is really hard. EQing vocals is hard as shit. Momo, don't come back here. All right, so what I'm going to do, instead of trying to do this manually, is I'm going to use a... Bro, come on. I don't want to be... You're good. Come here. Bye. So I'm going to use a reference, all right? I'm going to try to find like another male vocal that sounds kind of similarly pitched. I have some acapellas here. I'm going to try to use... I used this, I think last time was this. I've been hit by stars, a beauty you are. That sounds relatively similar to mine, so I'm going to go ahead, grab a Ozone 5 EQ, or any Ozone EQ would suffice. Go to snapshot, start a capture. I've been hit by stars, a beauty you are, a beauty you are. It turns into get as many notes and shit as I can. Get down, buddy. Alright, so I got quite a bit of information there, and I think I lost it all. Yes, I did. Fuck me. I figured this would be like a 30-minuter. Day turns into me waking up next to me, and when you send me the guys get them too. All right, there we go. So there's our capture. Let's bring this down to hours, and let's see what we're looking at here. There's some relatively easy things we can kind of derive from this information. Let's start our capture. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Okay, so it isn't too far off, it doesn't seem. Let's go ahead and match theirs to... Oh, I gotta stop the capture. Go ahead and match theirs to ours. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. 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 Oh, fuck, excuse me. All right, so that really doesn't sound too bad. Okay, now it's going to be time for a bit of manual EQ. We're going to use two things. I'm going to start with a just regular ass EQ8. These frequencies right here, I've noticed, for me at least in particular. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. 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 If I just tone those down quite a bit, it sounds significantly better. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. 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 That, and if I boost the presence rate here a little bit, about 3.75, that doesn't sound too bad. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Now I'm going to do a bit of a roll off here. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm... And I'm also going to lastly just do a bit of a... Nope, didn't mean to do that. Go back to Bell. Let's use this one. Bit of a low... Nope, fuck. Can I use... I'll just use this guy, whatever. Roll him down. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. 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 Okay, that doesn't sound too bad. Let's try one more. There's something that I'm thinking you should. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. 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 Okay, that honestly doesn't sound too bad, and I pretty much just got there from using my ear. I didn't do anything that special. So I'm happy with that. The last thing I'm going to do for right now is add a, I shouldn't use a beef. I should use a practical, legit OTT. We're going to use OTT and set the depth like really fucking low, like 15%, nothing too much, just a little bit. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Beautiful. Okay, so this is going to be our processed vocal that we're going to use to do other things with. So I'm going to save this up here, and I'm going to resample it. So I don't have anything on my master. Again, you want to make sure that, let's go ahead and resample solo. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Beautiful. So this is going to be processed, but we're going to put him now in the garbage bin. Again, we still want him. We just don't want him right this second. We want this guy. So there's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Again, I think that's simply good enough. All right, so what am I going to do with this? Well, that is a fantastic question. I'm going to try to re-emulate the process that I did last time that had quite a bit of success, and that was simply a series of like reverb, harmony, shit like that I was able to make sound pretty good. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make my doubles. So I'm going to go ahead, duplicate this. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. And I think I actually used a different, I think I used, for example, like one of these. So what I'll do is I'll take this processing, call this processed one. Now let me take this stem, turn on garbage. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. And I still want it on the other one. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's like some weird low end hitting that I'm hearing. There's something that I'm thinking. All right, so I'm not going to use that one because of that. We're actually just going to like move this guy over, turn him off. He's probably scrapped. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm Same issue that I'm having right there at the very beginning is I need to retune that first note. What the fuck, dog? All right. Consolidate. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Set it to Complex Pro. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm. All right, that sounds fine. Consolidate that shit. There's something that. And we're going to do another resample of that. So let's just go ahead like this. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. Cool. So now we have two. So now we have, turn this off. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something. And this one. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. All right, so the reason why we use two separate takes was so that we get that harmony effect just like that. That's what we want, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use, let's see, I'm going to go to waves. I'm going to get some doubles going on in there with a doubler effect. And you can do that with Ableton stock. I like the waves one. I'm familiar with it. It's quicker. So if you want to look up how to do doubles, you can find a number of tutorials on YouTube as to how to do that. Where am I? I need to go here. Waves, and I want doubler 2 mono. Let's try this.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
And that gives a very nice sort of stereo, not stereo effect, I shouldn't say that, but it combines multiple voices. Again, you can do this really with like delay, chorus, multiple things. So you could do it in Ableton stock. I'm just using it with Waves.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
So I have this on both.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Let me like move this over.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Let me see, I need to...
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Okay, so that's really not bad off the rip. So this is going to be processed 1, processed 2. Okay, so I'm like happy with this as it is right now. For the most part, let's go ahead and work this in a bit more so that it actually sounds like part of the track, right? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do opposite. This one's going to be panned left. This one's going to be panned right.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
I'm going to try to line up that first syllable.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking.
Beautiful. So that sounds pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to now duplicate this one. I'm going to turn the balance off for right now. I'm going to leave the doubler on, and now I'm going to go get Little Altar Boy. Little Altar Boy I'm going to use to essentially create harmonies, and I'll show you how I'll do that. This sounds different than using like a vocoder. I don't want to say more natural, but it does sound different. So
there's something that I'm thinking you should know.
So I'm going to set it to robot.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
And I'm going to set it right there to a note and key.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
That sounds pretty good. Let's do another one.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Let's do this one.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's duplicate this.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
You can also change the format for a little bit of different effects as well.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know. 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 There's something.
Can duplicate this one. I don't know if this will sound okay or not.
There's something that I'm thinking. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking. There's something that
Fuck, wrong one.
there's something that I'm thinking you should know. 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 There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Beautiful. That sounds really fucking sick. All right, so now what am I going to do? A couple other things just to sort of top this off. I'm going to do some gentle panning. So this one's like 25 left. This one is like 25 right. I could label those. I'll do that later, though. I want to spare some time. So now these are our 4 harmonies, and I'm going to do some gentle panning here. Let's do like -13 on this one. Let's do 13 on this one. And we'll do like -18 on this one, and then regular 18 on this one.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
That sounds really good. It feels a little bit wide. I'm going to pull that in on the group, is the way that I like to do it. So we'll pull that to 70.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Let's go ahead and use this right here.
That I'm thinking you should know.
Cut off that low end junk, bring in another EQ8. This one is going to be for mid side. I don't typically like mid side, but I'm going to use it right here. I'm going to do a low shelf.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Just to unstereoize some of those lower frequencies. I still want the higher ones to be stereoed quite a bit, but those lower ones not as much.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Sounds good.
There's something that
I want to change this one a little bit. We're just going to automate the pitch.
there's something that I'm thinking you should.
There we go.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Sounds good. Happy with that. All right, so now the last touch really is reverb and then final EQ.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
I like Ozone 5 reverb. Ableton reverb will work, but again, I just like what I like, so Ableton reverb wouldn't quite cut it for me with this because I like Arena. Jack this wet up. We're going to keep it at like 30% for right now, and then we're going to automate that, so go like this.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Just like that, all the way up.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Beautiful. That sounds so fucking mint. All right. So now the last thing that I need to do is re-EQ. So I'm going to go ahead and do another EQ match of this guy. Go ahead and just delete these. So now we got reverb on this guy. We got reverb on ours. We got harmonies, all that shit. Just get multiple. Oh, it's not fucking capturing. Oh, because I'm Xing out.
You're the one that I see waking to me, and I hope the same for you. With my mind on you sending me these signs, see I know I wanna know. Hey, where do we go? Where do we go? Oh, don't wanna leave this place. Wanna know. Hey, a beauty you are tonight. You light up.
All right, there we go. So we got our EQ image. Let's pull that up onto ours and just do one more instance of EQ matching now that we have a bit of a more accurate place to go with this.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
And you'll see right off the rip, I don't want to say it matches better, but it looks like it's more transferable between the two. We have more information now. We could see very much what the problems are with ours compared to the reference. We're going to match the reference to ours, and we could see right off the rip there's some issues. Primarily, it looks like this, really. We were a bit too hard with our lower frequencies, didn't have quite enough there at about 700, 800, and then quite a bit too much with those highs. So we'll just even those off a bit, smooth it out, not too much, just enough.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Beautiful. So now we have a vocal. And if we want to, we can go ahead and just resample that one more time. Bring up our audio track like this. No, we don't want it in that group. We want it outside of that group. And turn on resample. Go like this.
There's something that I'm thinking.
Do it.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Beautiful. And then from there, we can process it really however we want. If we want to add a bit more compression, a bit more EQ, whatever. Now we have the stem, and we can throw this into our track and get rolling. Run it back.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
Oops, that's still in the group.
There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know. There's something that I'm thinking you should know.
And there you go. That's it. That's all I do. Yeah, we did that on an iPhone mic. That doesn't sound half bad. We could work that in a bit better, but I'm very content with that. So anyways, I hope that this was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions, hit me up. I know this used quite a bit of third party. That's kind of against my mantra, but vocals are tough. Sometimes you need the best tools you can find. So This is your coach. I'm going to go hit the gym. Hopefully you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you guys next fucking time. Bye.